You know, but like I mentioned with SilverHawks, I would love to see a SilverHawks movie. I would love to see it. And like I said, the list of actors and everything, SilverHawks, the special effects that has. I mean, get John Cena to play the leader. I would love to see that. Get Keith Urban to play the cowboy guy. Get Patrick Stewart to play the guy that, watches for them through Tallyhawk's eyes. Have him played by Patrick Stewart. Have the guy that played Colossus in X-Men be that brother guy as part of the SilverHawks. Have Kristen Dunst, who played in the Spider-Man movies, have her play his sister, and then have that mime, have him CGI, is what I would do. But again, with the special effects and everything that was set, the standard that was set, I hate to say it, by Avatar. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Another movie I'd like to see get made, but I'd like to see it done traditionally in 2D animation, feature film quality-wise, is the Cadillac Cats. Cleo, Riff Raff, Hector Wordsworth, and Mongo Leroy, have them in a movie. And have them have like some kind of a worldwide adventure where they're racing to save their home or something like that. To have something like that, and I guarantee you people will love it. Or even do a straight origin story. Instead of having two separate origin stories of how they met, have a straightforward origin story. That would be great too. And if you want to do it live action or CGI wise, like say Yogi Bear and the Chipmunks, or upcoming like Smurfs, that's fine too. But me personally, feature film quality 2D animation would be the right choice to go with. Then another movie I would like to see made feature film quality wise, with traditional feature film 2D animation. I would like to see Disney's Gummy Bears, because if there's any show that deserves any 80s show that deserves a feature film in traditional 2D animation with feature film 2D animation quality, it's the Gummy Bears. They deserve it more than anything, folks. They deserve it. And what I would do, plot-wise, is I would make it a few years after the King Ickthorn deal. And just like with Rescue Rangers, I'd have them face a new villain or villainess, and I'd have the most popular characters I consider, Cubby and Sunny, older now. I would have Calvin and Calla married off, and Calla being the queen now, and Calvin being king. But I'd have Cubby and Sunny older, along with Buddy, if you want to put him in there. If you want to put him in there, that's fine. But that's what I would do. And as crazy as this sounds to some people, I would have Cubby and Sunny fall in love, because I would have them fall in love with each other. Because I know some people will say, well, they lived under the same oak tree and everything for years. They're not the brother and sister. First of all, they're not brother and sister. They're not blood related. And living under the same roof, that's been done before in That's been done before in television and animated series. You want a good example of that? Take a look at Friends on NBC. There's your answer. So I would love to see that made. Another movie, because of the CGI and special effects, that could really help it out, I'd like to see made based off an 80s cartoon, is Mask. And I'm not talking The Mask with Jim Carrey and the cartoon that came after it. I'm talking Mask. With the cars and everything and all that. Now, I don't know the name of the characters, but what I would do is I would go... this is hard to say. I would go with a virtual unknown cast to play all the parts. That's what I would do. Another movie I'd like to see made besides that, and then you know what, if you want to do Mask, you want to do an origin story with that. That'd be best. See how the team came together. But then another movie I'd like to see get made, based on another 80s cartoon, which is based off an Atari game of the same name, Pole Position. And you know what? Pole Position would be the perfect movie, live action, combined with the CGI and special effects standard that was set by Avatar. That'd be the perfect movie to do an origin story with. Find out how the kids came together as the new pole position team. That'd be great. And again, with them, I'd go virtual unknowns. Then another movie I'd like to see get made, whether it's theatrical or made for television, I'd like to see a third movie in this series. I'd like to see a third movie in the series. It's long overdue. Right now, VH1 Classic is showing it, right behind me. VH1 Classic is showing it. But a movie I'd like to see get made is to kind of make a trilogy out of it if you want to, or make it still part of the series, and it's long overdue. The 80s. Right now we're seeing the 60s, the first in a series of movies. We have the 70s, that was a sequel to it. The 80s is the next in line, and that definitely could be made. Now I know some of you are saying, well, not much happened in the 80s. Believe me, there's a lot more that happened in the 80s than you think. A lot more. And it'd be great to do what they're doing here, focus on a family or a group of friends, and see how their reaction was to what happened in the 80s, to some of the major events in the 80s. That would be great, because think about it, there are major events. The near assassination attempt of Ronald Reagan, the spaceship Challenger blowing up, the 1989 earthquake. I mean, there's a lot, man. There is a lot. There is a lot that could be focused on in a movie like that. So that's what I would like to see, theatrical or made for television ones. Other movies, again, there's just so many to choose from, so many animated 80s cartoons and 90s cartoons to choose from. It's unbearable. I'm sure a lot of people have already agreed with me on this. Do a Sonic the Hedgehog movie based on both the Sat AM and the Archie comics. And we're not talking a fan film, with all due respect to Eddie LeBron or anything, and Richard Kuta. With all due respect, not a fan film, but an actual film. And again, with the CGI and special effects that you got set with its standards set by Avatar, go in that direction. You know what I'm saying? Go in that direction. What else I would like to see you make? Again, this is a list of so many out there. Let's see. Oh, Dinosaurs. Again, special effects and CGI standards set by Avatar. Imagine what that would be like. Imagine what that could be like. I mean, it would blow people's minds. It really would. It would really blow their minds, folks. It really would blow their minds. Just the idea of that. And you know what? Another one that deserves it, because she didn't get it before. In fact, 2 females should get movies. First one, She-Ra. She-Ra. And have the person, and you know who I'd have direct She-Ra? Peter Jackson. Have him do it, because he did good with Lord of the Rings. Have him do good with She-Ra. That would be unbelievable. Now, and you know what? Again, with She-Ra, I'd go virtual unknown. Another one I'd go with that deserves a movie would be Jem. I mean, she was supposed to have a movie back in the 80s, animated wise, but that didn't happen. Go live action wise with the special effects and everything. Virtual unknown singer, independent singer maybe, as playing Jem, and I guarantee you, people would go and see that movie. There's no doubt about it. People would go and see it. I'm not lying, folks. Now, what else? Again, there's so many. The Gargoyles. People would love to see that turned into a live-action movie, especially, again, with the standard of CGI and special effects set by Avatar. Imagine what that could be like. Imagine the Mighty Ducks, and I'm not talking doing a reboot or a remake of the kids playing hockey deal. I'm talking about doing a live-action CGI movie of the Mighty Ducks based on the animated series. That's what I would go with, because that would be just as good. The ledge there. But again, that would be just as good. And people would go and see that, believe it or not. They would. What else would I like to see? Well, let's see. Well, I can't really name much because, like I said, there's so many to choose from. Oh, Wildcats. Wildcats, you know, the cartoon series as well as the comic book, get that made into a live action feature film with all the special effects and stuff. Oh my God, that would be unbelievable. That would be great. That would be just huge right there. And you know who I pick for some of the roles? Well, the Grifter, these are 2 roles I'd go with. Grifter, Ryan Reynolds. Zealot, go with TNA knockout Mickey James. That's who I would go with. In Voodoo, I don't know right now, but those are the 2 I'd go with. Those are the 2 I'd go with, folks. I mean, again, it's just so many out there. So much. Centurions would be a great one with the live action and the special effects CGI standard set by Avatar. Centurions would be great. Space Ghost, same thing. I mean, just the possibilities are endless. But again, there's so many to list from. But what I've mentioned are the movies I'd like to see get made. And you know what? You know, even better. We've seen so many television movies, made-for-television movies and stuff like that. For the benefit of those that are Beatle fans, even from the day the Beatles began to now, even young fans like myself and younger, I'd like to see a theatrical movie based on the Beatles, biography-wise. Not television, theatrical. How they began and how, and all the way to the final time together, that performance on the Apple rooftop. So, I would love to see that. So,